Here's your God Call with Reverend Bill.
Do you like the experience of life that you're having? If you do, of course, go on having a wonderful life. And if not, then the question is, what experience would you like to have instead? And if you find yourself saying, I wish that this disturbing thing would go away, I wish that this problem would disappear, I wish that this illness would resolve itself, then you are focusing on the problem. Your opportunity is to turn away from the problem and consider the experience that you'd like to have instead. Bring that to mind, feel it, dive into it, and invite that. And the creative law in the universe starts responding to that instead. And you get to have the life of your dreams.
February white sky, cooped up, you and I. The sun comes out shining, time to go outside. Sunshine, cold air, crazy world, don't care, and no more nightmare. We're out there in the winter sun, and the snow has stopped falling, and nature is sprawling, and the trail is calling. We're out there in the winter sun. Walking next to me, and with you near, it's crystal clear that we don't need to speak, we just have to be in our flow, so free. Coat is cozy, and cheeks are rosy, and it's time to mosey. We're out there in the winter sun. When you're walking next to me, and with you near, it's crystal clear that we don't need to speak, we just have to be in our flow, so free, so free. Birds are winging, and hope is ringing, and love is singing. We're out there in the winter sun, and thank God for you, and dear friend can do, and no more feel blue. We're out there in the winter sun, the winter sun, the winter sun, the winter sun, the winter sun.
you, Michael. Thank you, thank you, thank you, especially for the folks who are here at Falzer, braving the icy winter weather. Phew. Single digits. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And good morning to the folks who are joining us on Zoom as well. It's wonderful to see you, and also know that you guys are able to participate while staying warm. So you know the rules. When you're in person, be polite. And when you're on Zoom, just keep yourself muted except when you're sharing. And let's start by making a little cacophony right now. Please unmute and repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to the awareness of good surrounding me.
I open myself to the awareness of good surrounding me.
And I know love is unfolding right here, right now.
And I know love is unfolding right here, right now.
And so it is.
So it is.
Mute one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our celebration today, wherever you're going next, we have been expecting you. Welcome home. Around here, we have a very simple set of beliefs. You don't have to believe them. We just have found them to be true through empirical experience and experimentation over time. It goes like this. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we're each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. And we've got some classes that are starting up again. If you don't believe that, then just it gives you an opportunity to dip your toe and say, well, how does this thing work? And we have found that it does. In fact, we were able to shorten it down to your new life begins with a new thought. If you have extra electronic devices that will be disturbing for you or worse for me in the next hour or so, please put them on shush. And we get to focus our attention inwards on ourselves and on our spiritual community and our spiritual growth. I'm Bill Marchiony, the spiritual director at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is Michael London. Woohoo! Channeling Rumi, among others. And we got a couple of practitioners for our celebration. Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, will be leading the meditation in a little bit. And now, one of our PITs, practitioners in training, Michelle Palamountain, is going to lead us in our opening prayer, because if you haven't got a prayer, you haven't got a prayer. Michelle?
Good morning. Let us each settle into our space, feeling comfortable where we are, right here and right now, feeling supported and cozy. From this place of support, let us join together here and where you are in the miracle of Zoom by taking 3 gentle breaths, breathing in and feeling the expansion of ourselves, and gently breathing out, feeling our communion with all. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Allowing ourselves in these breaths to grow and to be open to all. This I know to be true. There is only one divine mind, infinite creator, supreme intelligence. It knows all things, it begins all things, and it cannot fail. I am, and we are swimming in this sea of divine intelligence and bathed in this powerful love and growing in this creative force of good. As we open our hearts and ears to one another in this time together, we realize our oneness, our power, our love. We are love and we are loved. The impulse of creation flows through us and touches the world that we live in. I know that our time together is precious and it expands beyond the confines of this time together. And it was with this knowledge and with a grateful heart that I release this word to the law, knowing that it is, and so it is. It is.
Man, thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. So the reason that we do a prayer is because God demands it of us. No, wait, that's not it. The reason that we do a prayer is because it changes the experience of life that we're having. And it really works. And if there is a prayer that is working in your life, you got a prayer work story you'd like to share, go ahead. If you're in the room, go ahead, raise your hand. And if you're on Zoom, you can raise your digital hand or wave, and we will see what's going on. Who's got a prayer work story? Come on back up, Michelle. Michelle has a prayer work story. Well, she didn't know. She didn't know. Come on up.
Hi. Well, this is, there's nothing too little or too great, right? And so I have to say, mostly everybody here knows I moved into a new studio apartment last year. I'm still figuring out furnishings and different things. And I wanted this table. It's handmade. And I was debating and I said, yes, I'm getting it. Yes to the universe. And it said, well, it'll be 4 months to get it, is what it said online. And what the person told me when I ordered it. And then they called me a day later and said, you know what? There's one that's already made and you'll be here this week. So it came Friday. And I was so happy because after I decided I wanted it, like the thing that was there did not make me happy anymore. So I am happy. That prayer works.
I love when that happens. And that, it seems like it's just a coincidental, incidental little story, but the intention of this is the table that I want to have, and they say it's going to take a while. That next step, well, forget it. I'm going to go find the table in a different place, and I'm going to take it into my ego and go try and make that happen. It's the surrendering, the letting go that lets somebody say, oh, wait a second, we can deliver it tomorrow. Amen. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Prayer work story? Jesus, come on up.
Good morning. What Michelle said and what Reverend said is more or less together with what I'm gonna say. So I know he prepares a table before me with goodness and gladness. But this week, I was contemplating on the will of God for my life. And I know Emmett Fox said, the will of God for us right now at this moment is something beautiful, joyous, far beyond that anything we could sit down and wish for with our conscious mind. I like what Paul said to the Corinthians. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, but they come into the heart of man. It's of the goodness, the abundance that God has prepared for each one of us. So my prayer is me letting go and letting God, releasing and making it happen, not the way I want it, but the way God wanted in my life. So it's more easy said than done because it's not easy for me to let go. I like things like my way, but for me to let go and let God, that's a big step for me to keep on in this journey that I started, 65 years ago or something like that. So, yeah, that's my prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Is Dina still on the call? Okay. I'm going to give you a Dina prayer work story because they can be trivial. And it's about opening yourself to joy. So there's this TV show on HBO that you might have heard about, Heated Rivalry, about the hockey players. And Dina's just a huge fan of the show, and she's loving it. And so she went and got herself a custom-made baseball cap, pink, that has one of the lines from the show on it, which is, I'm coming to the cottage. And she escaped the icy cold weather in Philadelphia to go to Los Angeles. So she's in Los Angeles with her niece, and they're out for lunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel or some such, hanging around the pool area, and she's wearing the hat. And all of the gay guys who are on the service staff are fawning over her and the hat. And she gets all these compliments and she gets all these conversations and she's having a wonderful time. You want to tell the story? She's back. So get some stuff for free and is having a wonderful time. Then later in the day, went across the street to the chicken place to get herself some chicken, and she's wearing the hat. And the guy who's serving her said, "Oh, the star of the show was in here buying chicken last week." So
Standing where you were, standing where you are right now. Yeah, I lost my mind a little bit.
so when you let the love out, when you let the glee out, when you set your intention, the universe says, "Oh, watch this." And it winds up being even more fun. So thank you, and thank you all. And we are now going to have some announcements, which are brought to us by Jane.
Good morning. This heavily insulated information is on the website at newthoughtphilly.org. Please sign up for the weekly e-newsletter so we can keep in touch. Spring classes begin on March 19th on Zoom. Beyond Limits is a 10-week class in the foundations of New Thought. Thursday evenings from 7 to 9. Learn this simple but powerful technique to transform your life with the Practical Prayer Workshop on Saturday, April 4th from 1 to 4:30. It's open to all and included in the Beyond Limits class. Register on the website. We host a dozen online meditations every week. Drop by for 15 minutes of inspiration on Zoom. They're also on Insight Timer Live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Sandy and Karen lead the Power of 8 Intention Circle every Monday evening from 6:30 to 7 to help bring new experience into the lives of the group members. God Calls are a half-minute of inspiration on your phone 4 times every week, starting with a free 2-week trial. Info is at godcall.org. There are now more than 2,800 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. Get your midweek adventure on and meet some new folks at one of the daily meditations. Follow, subscribe, like, and share New Thought Philly on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. And thank you to the team that makes these celebrations work. We get together ahead of time to get things in order and have some fun. Email the volunteer coordinator to join the joy. Next Sunday is Online with It Gets Better. Reverend Dave Schbach explores ways that, despite conditions that seem turbulent or even frightening, we can anchor our consciousness in truth and inner peace as we choose what's next. Live original music by Susan Catania. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration, our practitioner in training, Michelle, is available for a quick transformational miracle and a minute prayer. And stick around in the Zoom meeting after the celebration for casual conversation.
Yes, indeed. And this is the time in the celebration where we welcome people who are here for the first time, and we welcome them back for the second time. And we don't have an official statute of limitations, but Jay Tembo is back for the first time since before the pandemic. So you get to stand up and accept the blessing if you'd be willing to do so. The rest of us are going to rub our hands together, feel the warmth, feel the love. You just accept this. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for shining that light and sharing that love with us today. And welcome home. So Michael's going to do another song for us. And as he does, the folks who are on Zoom, go ahead and make eye contact with each other to remind yourselves that we're in community. The folks in the room are going to do one of my favorite parts of being in a New Thought community, which is wander around and hug each other.
This next song is the latest one I've written, and it celebrates community. And I treasure all the communities I'm in, like this one. And I think community is really what brings out the best in people. And thanks to all the people that make community happen. It's called the Community Waltz. uncertain, there's a place we can rest. We know when we find it, we don't have to guess. And our loneliness heals when we know that it's real. The people that hold us and bring out our best. And when did you get to be like family to me? Well, I don't remember, I can't recall, but the roots that we share and the way we all care, it helps us to get up each time that we fall. And there's a light in your eyes, in your joys and your cries. And friendship speaks silently and welcomes us in. When we walk through that door, we feel it once more. And I thank you for letting this soul find a home. Our connection flows deep, and it's something I keep near to my heart, never apart. And how lucky I am to be part of this clan, with hands that hold us in music and art. There's a light in your eyes, in your joys and your cries. And friendship speaks silently and welcomes us in. And when we walk through that door, we feel it once more. And I thank you for letting this soul find a home. Our community.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Every week we light the flames of faith as a reminder of how connected we are, even if we are on our separate paths. Brina's going to be lighting. Jesus is going to be reading.
Good morning again. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faith come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based tradition, honoring the belief and practice of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flames of God, eternal love.
Blessed be. We have a reading today. It's going to be shared with us by Nia, and I understand that the author that Joe chose was me from New Thoughts for Today. So we'll see if the universe loops back on itself.
Good morning. The reading for today is Umph. We will never get what we want. We will only get what we expect. Patricia Noble. When we understand and acknowledge that the one infinite creative power that creates everything has created and is creating the life we're experiencing, we have an opportunity to let our experience get better and better and better. Understanding that it is not our personal, individual efforts that create the tone and texture of our experience, we can invite the infinite to crank it up a notch, to add some umph. Umph is a vague term. Then again, so is the word better. The meaning is different for each of us. A better experience for me in some area of my life might be a giant step down for you, and vice versa. When we go into prayer, when we create an affirmation for the sort of new experience we're seeking, we can invite the infinite to add a little umph, to create an experience that's as good as we can reasonably expect and even better. The change can be in any area of life: health and physical well-being, prosperity and financial comfort, relationships, creative expression, and our work in the world, spiritual connection, anything. The best part is that because we know that the umph is coming from an infinite power that is greater than we are, there is no reason to suspect that it cannot be done. In the affirmation, I open myself to love. I open myself to health and vitality. I am prosperous and creative, and live a life of joy and peace and harmony, as good as I have believed possible and 10% better.
This comes from the poet Rumi from the 13th century. Um, it's easy to lose hope with so many difficulties in the world today. But this intention from the 13th century is still an intention today, even if we haven't realized it yet. This is called The Field. Out beyond, right and wrong, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And out beyond, rich and poor, there is a field. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. And when the soul lies down in that grass, I'll meet you there. The world is too full to talk about, and out beyond, young and old, there is a field. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. And when the soul lies down in that grass, I'll meet you there. Ideas, language, you and I, makes no sense to talk about. And out beyond, black and white, there is a field. There is a field. Oh, there is a field. And I'll meet you there. There is a field. I'll meet you there. Oh, I'll meet you there.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all. And I just got to start by saying this situation sucks. This situation, you know the situation I'm talking about. This situation sucks. And what I'm talking about is ice. But the reason that I'm bringing this up is because the title of the talk today is It Gets Better. So for 2 weeks, Philadelphia has been under a mountain of ice. And it is just annoying. This sucks. You try and park the car, you try and go someplace, it's hard to move around. That's what you were thinking about, right? Yeah. No, that wasn't. Yeah. There's another ice that has been a problem as well, which has been on our minds. And there's the concern that authoritarianism is creeping up on us, that we're losing control of the democracy that was founded 250 years ago, that we are so much in favor of. And then simultaneously, there's the Olympics. And it's the Winter Olympics, which are the fun, frivolous Olympics, because be honest, how much time do you usually spend watching curling or figure skating or ice dancing other than every 4 years for the Winter Olympics? The Winter Olympics is always a time when the athletes of all nations get together and compete to see who is going to take home the gold medal. I don't know if you've seen any of the games. They started on Friday night in Italy. There have been some wonderful things that have happened at the Olympics already. And you say, how could even the joyous events and unfoldings at the Olympics have any influence or any impact whatsoever on this stuff that sucks? How could that possibly change anything? Well, I invite you to wind back in history a little bit. Back in the 1930s, when the Nazis were claiming that the Aryan master race was better than anybody and they could do everything better than anyone. And in 1936, the Summer Olympics were in Berlin. And there was an athlete who went to Berlin who was perhaps one of the best athletes in history. And he set a bunch of records and he won a bunch of gold medals. And he really made the Germans, the Nazis, shut up because there's a black man from America. It's Jesse Owens. And it was dope slapping the Nazis who were saying, you have to look like this in order to be anything. It gets better. Now, it didn't immediately get better after 1936. There were some difficulties that ensued between now and then. But it gets better. And the important thing to remember is that it is possible, regardless of what the situation is, for it to get better. What situation came to mind when I said this situation sucks? Because we're each in a different place. We're each looking at life from a different perspective. And whatever it is that we perceive to suck could be different. Now, in a lot of cases, we agree. We agree on what sucks. But it gets better. It gets better. And the first question that comes to our rational minds, because we are very clever, very smart, intelligent, thoughtful people, is how? How is this going to get better? How could this possibly get better? And the answer is, I don't know. That is above my pay grade. I don't get to decide how it's going to get better. So also 2 weeks ago, ICE, the other ICE, the Immigrations and Custom Enforcement people, were murdering Americans in Minnesota. And it had been getting bad and bad and worse, and this situation sucked. And we got to join together knowing that it gets better. How? Don't know. But there was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of pushback to that. And almost immediately, 2 weeks ago, there was a leadership change and they started de-escalating a little bit. 25% reduction in the forces that are on the ground there. And the thing that nobody's really thinking that much about is that the army had been mobilized to get ready to go there, and they were told to stand down. So we're not going to have federal U.S. troops in our cities. Now, if you had guessed that was going to happen 2 weeks ago, you've been asking, how? How could that possibly happen? Well, it gets better. It is possible for it to get better. And along the way, there's some splits and fissures that are showing up because the people who are trying to do this, our version of the people who are saying that the Aryans are the only race that's worth dealing with, we're saying things like, well, that protester shouldn't have been armed. He shouldn't have had a gun with him. And everybody, mostly on their side, said, wait a second. There's guns rights. You can't start talking about that. So these people who had been solidly in agreement, suddenly there's a little bit of a break there. And then the cartoon commander-in-chief made a post ridiculing the Obamas and calling them monkeys. And the only black senator on the Republican side pushed back. Another fissure. So what seemed like this solid wall now has some cracks in it. And as you have heard me talk over and over again, all you need is the smallest crack, and then something can get in. The cracks are where the light gets through. It gets better. And I don't know exactly how it gets better because, as I mentioned, how is above my pay grade. Occasionally dealt with people who are having suicidal thoughts. And it's terrible to be in a situation where you just can't imagine how it could possibly get any better. And unfortunately, as we know in our intellectual mind, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. The crucial thing to remember is that it's a temporary problem and it gets better. How? I don't know. I don't know how. That is above my pay grade. That is something that's going on beyond what I can possibly imagine. And I know so many people who have been in that place of despair, who've been resilient and come back and are leading joyous, happy, loving lives, being surrounded by people who care for them and who would be devastated if they weren't there. It gets better. So actually, I do know how it gets better. I don't know the specifics of what the steps are for me to take or for you to take. And certainly, if somebody comes along and tells you they've got the guaranteed answer of how things are going to get better, it's probably time to run. Because there are possibilities. And very, very, very rarely do we have a really clear answer. But when you're facing a situation and the situation sucks, or even if it's just unpleasant or undesirable or something that you'd like to have something different, the first step is prayer. And the prayer is not for those people to stop doing the things that they've been doing, or for that bad thing to go away, or for this inconvenience to suddenly be better for me. The prayer is for love and harmony. The prayer is for love and harmony. And the big objective for us is to let go of attachment, to let go of needing to know how right now. To have the prayer be for, I want to know what to do and I want to know now. And I want to do it. I want it to be successful. I want everything to be different now. Timing is not ours. The mechanism is not ours. The infinite is going to do that. The prayer is for love and harmony unfolding. And the other thing that we get to do is meditate. Prayer is where we're setting an intention and speaking our word into that creative law that creates everything. Meditation is when we're listening to that infinite intelligence that creates everything and allowing it to guide us. The meditation is, what is mine to do? What are my next perfect steps to take? And when the infinite in meditation, that still small voice tells you, this is what you got to do and you got to do it now. Your job is to resist. Your ego can do an incredibly good impression of that still small voice. And when you think that you know, this is what I have to do, say, that's a wonderful idea. And then meditate some more. Let it go. Because if it's your ego, it'll say, that didn't work. And it'll try something different. And it'll keep trying something different as you get into a train of thought thinking about this and a train of thought thinking about that and the other and the other. It'll keep sending different trains. If it's actually the infinite, if it's the still small voice within, it'll tell you the same thing again. If it's a calling, that's your true calling about what it is that's yours to do, and you let it go to voicemail, you let the call go to voicemail, the infinite will call back. And again and again and again. And as we let go of our attachment to thinking that we knew what we were supposed to do, of how it's going to get better, as we let the train that's taking us in the direction that's not going to be helpful go by, we get off that train of thought. Then our next perfect steps become revealed to us. And with that comes clarity and the knowing that goes from your head into your heart, into your gut. And you know, this is mine to do. And when those next perfect steps are revealed, take them. It is wonderful to know what you're supposed to do. It's even more important to do it. There are ways that we are participating in this creative enterprise, which is life, that require some participation on our part. That's not to say you need to pick up your tools and run out immediately to solve the problem. Start in consciousness, start in prayer. Set the intention for the experience, not of what you want to have change, but the experience you want everybody to have when it's done. Peace and harmony is rarely something that happens with just one person at a time. It's the sort of thing that fits the whole group together. So set the intention for peace and harmony in whatever it is, the resolution of whatever that sucky situation is. Meditate for the guidance on your next perfect steps and take those steps. This friend of mine says, let go of the how and open to the wow. Because the infinite creative power that creates everything is creating that next new experience. And it gets better. Might not get better immediately, might not get better quickly or obviously, and it gets better. We're currently in the middle of the beginning of the season for nonviolence. It's 64 days between January 30th and April 4th, the dates of the assassinations of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. And this is something that's actually started by the New Thought folks. It was probably 20, 30 years ago. The Association for Global New Thought got together with Arun Gandhi, who's Gandhi's, I think, grandson, and created the season for nonviolence. And it's 64 ways in 64 days to bring nonviolence into the world. And the two of them were huge in the nonviolent movement. Now, there's not a lot going on with the season for nonviolence this year. It's still going on. Not a whole lot of people are talking about it. And mostly, I think the reason is because Barbara Fields, who is the executive director for the Association for Global New Thought, passed away last year. So she's not at the helm, and it's reinventing itself. But that doesn't mean that the idea isn't a good one. That doesn't mean that peaceful protest is something that suddenly doesn't work anymore. There are opportunities for us to stand together with our voices and say, this sucketh, and here's what I'm going to do, and here's where I stand, and invite in a new experience. And somehow, some way that is either completely obvious or completely hidden, something that we can predict specifically or comes up on us as a surprise, somehow it gets better. Somehow it gets better. So that's the invitation for you, for each of us, to do that exercise of doing the prayer, letting go of attachment, letting go of thinking we know how it's going to happen, and pray for love and harmony. Invite that love and harmony into life. Meditate for the guidance on what are my next perfect steps. Listen for the still small voice. Take the steps. And as it says on the bottle of shampoo, lather, rinse, repeat. Don't do that once. Do that until it becomes a lifestyle, because that's how it gets better. You deserve it, and I deserve it, and we deserve it. And so it is.
When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. connections come from another place. The feeling disappears. Don't let others lead you. Don't let others lead you. Because of willfulness, people sit in jail. The trap bird's wings are tied, fish sizzle in the skillet. The anger of police is willfulness. Now see the invisible. If you could leave your selfishness, you would see how you've been torturing your soul. We are born and live in black water, in a well. How could we know what an open field of sunlight is? And don't insist on going where you think you want to go. And when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. A joy. That's the way to the spring. Your living pieces will form a harmony. There is a moving palace that floats in the air, with balconies and clear water flowing through. Oh, an infinity everywhere, yet contained under this single tent. And when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. Oh, a river moving in you. A joy. A joy. A river. A river. A river. A river.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Reverend Bill. So we've been given our task, assignment about meditation. So we're going to try that a little bit right now. And, you know, we've mentioned throughout the celebration about climate. So we've got social climate, we've got the weather type climate, and it's windy. It's tough out there. Jane had a story earlier about how all her shopping bags got whipped out of the back of the car because the winds were so bad yesterday. And you know what? It kind of feels like that around here in many ways. So in order to open to something new and to something better, it occurred to me that you kind of have to be grounded. It's hard to do that when you're being whipped one way and whipped another. So I'm going to offer a two-part step into this. Ground ourselves and then open. So we can think about a lighthouse. As I listened to Reverend Bill, I remember this beautiful picture of a lighthouse on an enormous rock on the coastline somewhere, and it was just beautiful. So I imagine that lighthouse being something really, really grounding. So we could say or use the idea. I stand in the power of the one, the power, love, intelligence, now and always. I stand in the power of the one, power, love, intelligence, now and always. And feel that connection to something stable that you can then work from. And to carry that over to this nonviolence focus for the next few weeks. I came across a Sanskrit chant, Ahom Prema, Ahom Prema. I am divine love. Einstein said it. Martin Luther King said it. Only love can overcome darkness, evil, and hate. Let's be grounded in that one power, love, intelligence, and know that we are divine love, open to the guidance from the one. Aham Prema, I am divine love. We can take that into the silence and see what happens.
is only one. There's one divine intelligence, divine love, a pulsating, creative being expressing love in the center of each of us and the perimeters of all of us. I know that this love and this harmony is in all that we do and all that we say and think and feel. This love is what creates universes, creates being, creates experiences. And we are that love pulsing in this world, pulsing to one another. I know that we are powerful creators, creating what we know and what we feel, what we believe, the power of love, the power of kindness and compassion that prevails always. It is with a grateful heart that I experience this love. And it is with a grateful heart that I release this knowing to the word, to the law, knowing that it is, and so it is. And now, when you feel comfortable, and come back to this time and this place, knowing you can carry these thoughts and feelings and beliefs with you. Let them radiate throughout the day, throughout your life.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you're gonna find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly and birds fly over the rainbow. Oh, why can I? Can I? Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, and where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Oh, why can I? And if happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Oh, why can't I?
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Joe. Thank you all. This is a part of our program where we get to see what's resonating. If there's something that's come up for you, some idea of how it gets better or what gets better or something else that you'd like to share, go ahead, raise your hand. If you're in the room or on Zoom, you can use your digital hand raising button, or somebody who's able to see all of the people on the Zoom can tell me if somebody's got their hand raised. I was talking about ice earlier, and there's another ice, which of course is the one that they're skating and skiing and sledding and curling on. In couldn't even see it. Anyway, ice. Bad rap? Potential? Who can tell? Anybody? Breen, come on up.
So,
Like the door.
so just listen to that song. It's a beautiful arrangement. And you think about, oh, the birds can fly, why can't I? And there's probably for each of us, there's times in our lives when we're like, oh, why can't I have this thing that I think that I want? Right. And you mentioned something, Bill, in your talk about, with this, what we're supposed to do. And, the universe is going to give us this message. And I think about that sometimes for myself, because it's like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want, but it's like, birds, we can't fly, but we've got opposable thumbs. Birds don't have opposable thumbs. Like, they can't pick things up like we can. So just really being who you are in any given space or time or situation, being true to yourself. I think it's where the real, it gets better. That's where it gets better, and being who we really are. And it takes a lifetime, I think, to really figure that out. Sometimes really just being who we are. And this helps this community and these teachings. So thank you.
Great. Anybody else? Nobody else on Zoom wants to make obnoxious noises? Awesome. Awesome. And in that case, I'm going to invite Jane to lead us in the offering.
Of course, I'm underprepared, but let me see if I can do this. Let me just go into this. New Thought Philadelphia is all about sharing the love, and the way you share your love helps spread our love in the world. I hope that was right. So let's unmute and we're going to say this offering affirmation together. I live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite source of all good. I am a center of conscious prosperity.
I
I
enjoy
enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know as I give, I do receive. And so it is.
Thank you, Jane. Nice ad lib. Thank you all. Michael, one more for us?
Oh, 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 mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oh, where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east and west. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oil wasted on the ocean and upon our seas. Fish full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oh, radiation underground and in the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby are dying. spacious sky.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. What a wonderful, inspiring, uplifting morning this has been for me. Let's close with another cacophony. If you're on Zoom, go ahead and unmute. If you're in the room, stand up, take the hand of the person next to you so we can shout ourselves gleefully into whatever is coming next. Repeat after me. I open myself to love and harmony.
I open myself
to love and
I let go of the how.
I let go of
I
the
let my light shine.
I let my light shine,
And I anticipate the wow.
and I anticipate the wow.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Wow. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. Mercy, 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 mercy. I mean.
Okay, thanks everybody. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Benjamin.
Have a great week. Bye, Hannah. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.